In this latest edition of Hollywood Bob's Redman Reaction, we're talking about Billy Napier owning the NIL narrative. It really is the hottest issue out there, so you're forewarned that we're going to approach it several times moving forward. The phrase tail wagging the dog comes to mind when you see some of college football's biggest coaches complain over the new name, image, and likeness era of college sports. They either complain about others abusing what is out there or they create a public outcry for being accused of doing so. We're talking about the biggest names in sport fussing over something that they would be doing one way or another anyway, but now everyone else can get involved and not worry about any consequences. Then there's Florida head coach Billy Napier. He's not letting the tail wag the dog. He's busy navigating through the waters, not complaining about others. He'll talk about the uncertainty involved, and then he'll tell everyone of the people that are watching that something like the NIL is not only inevitable, it's fair. At the SEC spring meetings this week in Destin, Napier said as much, noting that there has to be some housekeeping done when it comes to fine tuning the rules in which college athletes participate in the NIL. I grabbed these quotes from a story by Jesse Simonton with On3 Sports. There's a ton of gray area relative to what you can do and what you can't do, Napier said. There's no manual, there's no parameters, guidelines. I'm using the term, we're living in a land with no laws. I think it very much continues to be a very fluid situation. You hear something new each day. He continued, I'm a firm believer that this is a positive. We're living in a different era. Napier delved or maybe skimmed a little bit into what athletic directors and athletic board of trustees likely don't want to hear. Without saying the words, he basically insinuated that college athletes should be considered in rev share scenarios with all the money they bring in. Or maybe he didn't say that. Here is what he did say. If you go back to 1990, and I did some research the other day, each SE institution got $1.3 million a year from the league. Just 13 years ago, I think it was around $6 million or $7 million. And I think this 2024 TV deal is the high 60s or low 70s per year. He continued, one of the things about my career is I've been in the profession and observed this explosion. It's foolish to say the players don't deserve a piece of the pie. If there are no players in these stadiums, nobody's showing up to watch, and they're certainly not sitting at home watching it on TV. It all leads back to the money, and I think the TV industry has the key to the castle. You've got to get a lot of people to the table, and there's a lot of dialogue and a lot of conversations that have to happen. Unquote. Right now, there aren't many calling for a rev share situation. He may not be doing that either, but just making aware that the players getting fairly compensated is just that, fair. Whatever his motive is for saying things like this, he's not letting the situation handle them. He's handling the situation.